Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm here with Jeff Breedlove of Georgia Council on Substance Abuse, and we've been talking for a whole week about this House Bill 1013. And today your questions are going to be answered, and we're also going to talk about a rally that we're having coming up. So Jeff, we all have a lot of questions about this House Bill 1013 and why is this so important and what is going on with this parity and this language?
Well, thanks, Jamie, and thanks for everybody for being aware of House Bill 1013. It is the most important piece of legislation for our recovery community at the General Assembly in 2022. And House Bill 1013, to begin with, it's historic, it's transformational, and at its core, what it will do is literally transform the way that the state of Georgia cares for and addresses both mental health and substance use disorder medical issues. It's just ripping out a system that everybody agrees is broken, completely not peer and family friendly, and demolishing it and saying we're going to start over and do it the right way. So what's going to happen is, and let me back up and say what has happened. So in 2019, the General Assembly passed a bill which created a commission to study behavioral health, which includes mental health and substance use disorder. And out of this commission, they've been working for 2 years. They worked during COVID. They've been studying some of these issues important to these communities, to our communities. And they came out with House Bill 1013. Now, groups like the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse, there's a coalition of us that meet every Friday. And we started working on this bill ourselves 2 years ago. And the authors of the bill and the chairman of the commission, they've heard our voices. We've been at the table. We've had input on this bill. And we want to thank Chairman Kevin Tanner, Speaker David Ralston, and Representative Mary Margaret Oliver and Representative Todd Jones for having our voices heard. And 2 years, all this work goes into the bill. It's about an 80-page bill. And that means it's called an omnibus bill. And that means it's a big bill doing a lot of stuff at one time. Do we like everything in the bill? Of course not. It's not a perfect bill, but it's a transformational bill that's full of compromises to move the ball down the field. Now, the bill's got 6 parts to it, Jamie. And a couple of parts, there's no controversy. There's an administrative part. That's not really a big thing. And there's a workforce part that nobody seems to have expressed any opposition to. I'm proud of the workforce part because that lays down new protocols in the state government to get peers certified and to be eligible, nurses to be more nurses on the ground in facilities across Georgia, maybe some loan forgiveness to people who decide to go into nursing for mental health and substance use disorder. A lot of positive things in the workforce.
So that's to support allies for
correct.
Recovery. Okay.
This is actually to be peer friendly in facilities for peers.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now, the biggest part of the bill, and the part that the council and the coalition has said is the single most important part of the bill, is a word called parity. Now, simply put, this is what parity is. It means that in law, when an insurance company's operating in your state, like Georgia in our case, whatever they offer for physical health, broken bones, hip replacements, things we all understand, physical medical health, they have to equally offer for mental health and substance use disorder. As simple as if you get 5 visits for a hip replacement, you get 5 visits for mental health or substance use. There can't be a disparity. It's got to be paired, parity being equal. Gotcha. That's a federal law, everybody. It's been on the books for 14 years, since 2008. But for 14 years, the state of Georgia, Democrat and Republican, has not enforced that law in our state. And what does that mean? It means for 14 years, we've been paying premiums, or if you're getting government assistance, taxpayers have been providing that money for folks. Money has been in the system for people to get the benefits under the federal parity law. It hasn't been enforced, so it means two things. A person like me, when I went to get treatment and the insurance didn't cover it, we either had to find some way to pay for it or we didn't get it because they weren't enforcing the parity law. The other thing it means is while families and taxpayers have been paying into the system to insurance companies, they've been pocketing straight up profit. It's straight up greed. The estimates are anywhere annually from $250 million to $500 million.
Wow.
Money that they've profited where we haven't been getting services. That's why parity is so important.
Wow, that is striking to me, because also I feel like there is also a level of discrimination when you are trying to get insurance if you have had mental health issues or substance use disorder.
There's straight up discrimination. That's in violation of the Federal Parity Act. That's why it must be enforced in Georgia. You said the perfect word, Jamie. It is discrimination in all its ugly forms. It's wrapped with its cousin greed, and arrogance.
So you mean to tell me these people are telling us, we can't have these services, or we can't have the insurance that includes these services, but they're already have been getting paid for it?
Oh, absolutely. And it's federal law that they're supposed to follow, and the state of Georgia is supposed to enforce. They enforce this law, frankly, in only about 26 or 27 states. But in the states where it is enforced by state government, the insurance companies comply because they have to comply when the state government enforces it, which means in about half of the country, our fellow citizens are getting what they're entitled to under federal law. But in the state of Georgia, for 14 years, big insurance and their special interest lobbyists have manipulated the system. Peers and families have been the victim. And our message to the Georgia State Senate is crystal clear. The State House passed peer-friendly, family-friendly legislation out of the House for House Bill 1013. Big insurance is attacking that on the Senate side. They're trying to convince senators to weaken that language, to water it down. So there's still loopholes for the insurance companies. And we're pushing back and saying, no, enforce the strong language that came out of the House, the family-friendly, peer-friendly language. And it's a battle going on literally today. And it
So
will
the
go
bill was written, and it was written with strong language. And the insurance company is coming back now and saying, no, we need to change this language to a different kind of language so that
to make it weaker, to make it better for them.
To
and
make
more,
it broader,
less beneficial to families and peers.
Okay. So that is what we are, to our next point, coming to rally against. Yes.
Exactly. So this coming Monday, there's going to be a rally at the state capitol at 3:30. We're all going to meet at the capitol. We're putting an all call out. So at the state capitol, on the south side, that's the side everybody knows where Turner Field used to be, where Georgia State's stadium is now, where I-20 is. That's the south side. And there's a street right beside the Capitol where the public entrance is, and it's called Mitchell Street. It's a street that's all blocked off. You'll see state patrol cars. You can walk there. Anybody can walk there, but you can't drive there. So there's several parking lots around the Capitol. Suggest if you're going to be there at 3:30, you try to park by 3 o'clock to walk over. It takes a few minutes to park and walk. Maybe even find a spot. So you can't just show up at 3:30. You'll be late. But we're going to meet at 3:30 right there on the south side of the Capitol. And we're going to ask everybody to do three things. Wear green. You got something green. I mean, come. If you don't have green, still come. But if you got something green, wear it. That's one thing we're asking. The second thing we're asking to make a homemade sign. That white poster board that they sell at the grocery store, or Target, or Walmart, or whatever. Don't bring any sticks or anything with it, just a little piece of poster board. And write on there, thank you for supporting recovery. Thank you for supporting House Bill 1013. Thank you for supporting mental health. Strong language, anything positive, strong language for peers, strong language for recovery. a short message, make it real big on the poster board, and bring your homemade sign. We're sending out an email. We're posting an image on our social media tonight. Frankly, shortly after this, I'll be posting this, and people like Jamie will get it, and we're going to ask them to invite people. But listen, the forces of stigma have been at the Capitol, and they had about 100 people there, and they were saying stigmatizing things to people's faces and at the podium. And they call us those people. They call us addicts. They call us worse things that I won't repeat. And they stand up and say, we don't deserve this coverage, and we don't deserve all the other stuff in the bill. And I am begging you, it's one of those days to take the day off work. Take half the day off work. Get yourself to the Capitol. Make your sign. Wear your green. And let's send a message that Georgia supports recovery. Georgia for addiction, substance use disorder, for mental health. We support 1013. It's a battle, it's a battleground day. It's a big day Monday.
Okay. And how else, for people who are not in the state of Georgia, who can't come, how can they support?
Absolutely. So, and even if you are in the state of Georgia, but you just can't come, you live, it's too far away, not practical. We get that. So the most important way is you can follow the Georgia Council on Substance Abuse, NAMI Georgia, Mental Health America Georgia. We're on all the social media platforms, and ones I mean are Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We are constantly posting throughout this weekend positive messaging for House Bill 1013. And we're using hashtags. And you'll see those hashtags in those posts. Take those hashtags, retweet it, maybe use your own language. But I'm telling you this, senators and representatives in Georgia, it's not like Washington. They read social media themselves. Their staff read it, reporters read it. They will see over this weekend if our community's showing up on social media to support this or not. So the council, Georgia Council on Substance Abuse, NAMI Georgia, Mental Health America Georgia, we're putting stuff out there for you. We need you to amplify the voice using the hashtags on social media this weekend, all the way through Monday. And we'll reassess. It doesn't end on Monday, Jamie, if I can. What happens Monday is it's scheduled to be voted out of an important committee in the Senate. Then it's going to go to the full Senate floor. And the language is probably going to be different than the House, but we're working to make it strong. And then it goes to what's called a conference committee. And the General Assembly ends on April 4th. That's a Monday. So every day between now and April 4th, theoretically, we're going to be fighting as hard as we've ever fought for this parity law, included in House Bill 1013. And if you've ever said, hey, I want to know what I can do to help my community, getting this bill passed will immediately change lives. It will make resources and funds available to peers and families in crisis seeking the help they need their way on their pathway. It does other things too, Jamie. We should say this. And some of those things have been of concern to the council and to our coalition, and we've worked with them on the ones that have been of concern to us. I want to assure everybody that's heard about involuntary commitment or AOT that the council has been working every day diligently with our coalition members. And I want to thank all of our coalition members to make that language very peer friendly as we can get it. So it's a big bill with a lot of issues, Jamie.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for all that information. And that should definitely answer all of the questions that I've been flooded with the last couple of days. So thank you so much for taking your time. Thank you for continuing to fight for recovery and be the face in the Capitol. And we just really, really appreciate everything you do, Jeff.
Well, Jamie, your platform, it's just grown and grown. It's such an important platform to spread the word of recovery across Georgia. You are a superstar for recovery. Thank you for platforms like this so we can get the word out to our statewide community.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming and speaking. And I will make sure to get this posted. I will put all of the links of all the things in so everybody knows. And I'll put that rally sticker on there too. So awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jeff, and we will see you guys later.